Hey you guys, today we'll be looking at all of Riku's fights in Chain of Memories. Since we won't be rehashing the ones I've already covered, that leaves 3 boss fights. I want to focus on making content that is longer and more thought out, and this is that first step towards putting that kind of video together. So let me know how the format goes. It's honestly going to be largely the same that I usually do, but just trying to take a little bit more time to make a bigger video. So I hope you guys enjoy Riku's boss fight breakdown. Also, little plug for my Patreon and memberships here on YouTube. If you want to help support me, that is the best way to do it. Like always, this series will be looking at both the original GBA version of Chain of Memories, as well as the remix version released on the PS2. Lexaeus is up first, sporting an axe sword that he uses to pummel you into the ground. You only fight him once, but it can be pretty tough if you aren't prepared. His enemy card is Warp Break, which acts differently than when you receive it. When Lexaeus uses this card, you have a chance of becoming stunned from his attacks. This can actually set you up to be stun-locked to death. Okay, Riku, it's time to wake up. Riku, okay. Funny joke, wake up. Riku, wake up! Anyways, when you use it, this card has a high chance of just banishing enemies with a combo finisher. It also makes you immune to ice for some reason and resistant to physical attacks, so you don't get a hit stun. In exchange, you become weak to special attacks. Lexaeus has 3 cards, with 2 being red attack cards and 1 being a blue magic card. He has a close range attack and a long range one. Let's look at his long range attack first. This is his red card with a blue background. In the GBA version, Lexaeus tosses up his axe sword and it tumbles around the room towards you. It's actually kind of interesting how Lexaeus just calls this back to himself, kind of like calling a Keyblade back to you. Recom continues the Keyblade vibes, with its version having a strike rate-esque attack. Interestingly enough, I caught an instance of his blue power-up card triggering this attack instead of a normal red one. Probably a glitch, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Now let's look at his close range attack. This is the red card with a red background. The GBA version just has a single strike, whereas the Recom version has him follow up by twisting into the air and slamming down. The screen shaking really underlines how powerful Lexaeus' attacks are. And finally, let's look at the blue card. In the GBA version, this has him doing a strong slam on the ground, which actually tilts the arena, causing you to slide across the room. In Recom, this card actually powers Lexaeus up, creating a really cool gimmick for this fight. This changes his close range attack, with the 2nd level causing shockwaves to push out from the attacks, and the 3rd level cracking the ground and causing an explosion to burst forth. I haven't actually been able to dodge all the hits from the 3rd level due to the spread of the attack and spacing of the hits going out. While Lexaeus is powered up to his 2nd level, he will not stun from hits. When he is powered up to his 3rd level, he cannot be damaged and knocks you out of your attack. The only other thing that Lexaeus can use are his slates. He only has 1 in each version, though it does change depending on which level he is at in Recom. The 1st level is Impact Quake. Lexaeus raises his axe sword into the air before jumping and sinking it into the ground, shooting out a shockwave. This spawns multiple boulders to jut out of the ground. It's important to dodge this because it's really easy to get ping-ponged and stunned to death here, or at least take a ton of damage. Level 2 of this slate is called Rock Shatter. Lexaeus moves to the center of the room, powering up and spawning rocks in a circle around him. He does a quick spinning strike to shatter these out across the arena. The GBA version has the same name for this slate, though Lexaeus only spawns 1 boulder, and he actually punches it with his bare hand to shatter it. This one's actually pretty hard to dodge in the GBA version since all the little pieces have hit detection on them. The last level slate in Recom is called Ground Impact and has Lexaeus charging up above the arena before he slams down with an incredible force that shoots out a dome of energy and cracks the ground. Thanks to Damo actually for pointing this out, but this actually looks like Sora's Stun Impact. After finishing this slate, he'll be back down to level 1 and will have to power up again before he's invincible. And that's really it for Lexaeus. The fight is pretty simple, and as long as you're careful, you shouldn't have too much trouble with it. Before we move on to Zexion, here are some of Lexaeus' battle quotes.
Can't run! Return to the earth! Darkness, give me power! Just give up! I'll crush you! I'll ease your pain.
Zexion is unique in the fact that he only has a boss fight in Recom. The GBA version handles the story beats the same way, but just has Riku going dark mode and cutting him down in a single strike. The gimmick for this fight is also an interesting one. If Zexion's normal attack card is not broken, you will lose some of your cards. This attack actually uses the magnet effect from Cage 2 and homes in on Riku doing a tiny bit of damage as his cards are whisked away. In this phase, Zexion can also use a slate called Cyclone Snatch, which will suck you in towards the middle of the arena and siphon your cards away when you get too close. After enough cards have been stolen, Zexion will move to his 2nd phase. Zexion refills his deck with the stolen cards and has a glowing version of your Soul Eater. He also spawns some clones of himself and goes on the offensive. The basic attack has the 3 clones mixing up spinning strikes, slashes, and stabs before Zexion flips into the air to end with a slicing slam. These all have a general similarity to Riku's combo, which I think is a pretty nice touch. Zexion can also use 2 slates during this phase. The first is Catastrophe, which has Zexion and the clones teleporting to the edges of the arena and all shooting energy into the center, forming an orb there. At the end of the slate, Zexion jumps above the orb, slamming his hand down onto it, which pushes out a shockwave and dome of energy. Dark Punisher has Zexion dashing towards Riku and grabbing him, holding him as darkness pools beneath the two of them. Red Thorns circle around Riku as he takes damage. You can also see some shadows peeking out of the darkness on the ground, which is a nice little detail. To get out of this attack phase, you need to destroy the 3 books around the arena. These have a thorn circling below it as pages fly up from the open tome. Once destroyed, you'll be able to collect all of your stolen cards. Be careful though, because Zexion will actually slip in a dummy card that will stun you with a pillar of fire. The dummy card is a lighter tone of color on your blade, and the weapon is flipped. When used, it disappears in a plume of thorns and changes to Zexion's card. Another thing you can destroy is Zexion's books during the first phase. These seem to act like shields, and when all 3 are destroyed, Zexion will just summon more. Upon defeating him, you will get his card, which when used has a chance to trigger confusion. It also gives you some resistance to slates, fire, ice, and lightning. And that's mostly it for Zexion's fight. Here are some of his battle quotes before we move on to the last fight.
Go! Looks like I have enough. Your end is near! Take this! You should share your powers. Your memory shall be mine. What is this? I feel so bad. Share your powers. See my illusion!
Of course, the last fight is against Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. This boss fight mirrors a lot of the attacks in Kingdom Hearts 1, complete with his charging attack, disc throws, and of course the Guardian blocking you when you were just going ham on Ansem. The attacks across the GBA and Recom versions are all the same, though Recom does add an additional slate to include one more attack from Kingdom Hearts 1. This slate is called Shock Slash and is made up of 2 blue cards and 1 red one. You can see orbs of darkness surround the Guardian's hands as he chucks energy discs that arc out towards you. The attack and magic cards are actually flipped between the games, so in the GBA version, the red card will be Ansem's lightning attack, while the blue card in Recom triggers the same attack. It's kind of interesting that a thunder attack that should be magic is a red card in the GBA version, and a striking attack is a blue one. Anyways, the lightning attack in the GBA version is a single bolt of lightning that shoots across the arena. In the Recom fight, the Guardian's hands have purplish orbs glowing around them as he swipes up and shoots forward 2 bolts of lightning. Interestingly enough, in the tutorial fight in Recom, Ansem's card attacks have the Guardian doing a unique kind of lightning attack only seen here. Isn't that so cool? Like, an attack that honestly you're probably not going to see has its own unique animation. I don't know, I just thought that was cool. The swipe attack is just that, a single swipe. Of course, the Recom version has a bit more flair as the Guardian coats his hand in darkness to attack with. There are also 2 slates shared across the games. The first is his Dark Rush attack made up of 1 blue card and 2 reds in the GBA version, and all red cards in Recom. The Guardian moves in front of Ansem and does a shoulder charge and rockets across the screen multiple times. The last charge of the Recom version actually has a bit of a pause, just like he does in the KH1 version. The last slate is Dark Shadow and is made up of 2 blue cards and 1 red in both versions. The Guardian leaves Ansem's side and attacks you from pools of darkness in the ground. The GBA version's attack launches Riku into the air if you get caught, while the Recom version adds shockwaves to the attack, which can pretty easily combo you to death. Ansem's enemy card is called Slate Blind, which hides your slates from the other person. Really only helpful in a PvP scene. In Recom though, you do get resistance from fire, ice, and lightning. And of course, here are some of Ansem's iconic battle quotes.
Take this! The From Guardian! The final darkness is nigh.
And I think that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoyed like the longer format and, not just snipping these up into one-off episodes. If you want to see more, click the cards on screen to see my full series on Chain of Memories. If you enjoyed this, I've done a ton of breakdowns on the Kingdom Hearts series, so be sure to check them out by clicking the other cards on screen. Subscribe or share this video, and I'll see you in the next one.